This man got this old ass jersey.
Ew! Ew! Steve Nash. Nasty word.
Might I add, has one more MVP than Kobe Bryant.
That's the why I'm here with it. That's just
Kevin,
tasteful
where did you
work
go?
from the NBA, man.
I think he went to go get his jersey. I think we all on jersey time right now.
Who
he got? Karis LeVert.
He got
Karis. Oh,
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
Karis LeVert.
Should have started.
Hey, did you get that? Did you?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm leaving that in the video, bro. I'm leaving that in. Well, I know. Or I need to send you. Hey, where's my camera? Hey, Pete, yep. Hey, Pete. As soon as we said that, you said put me on game. Oh, bro. All right. Well, we'll probably leave that in.
Yeah, we go to Jersey show today.
Yeah. Listen, this is my favorite Phoenix Suns uniform of all time. I do want to point that out there.
Like that, the jersey style or the particular jersey?
The jersey, like this jersey, this orange one. This is my favorite one of all time.
Yeah, the jersey style. Okay.
Yeah, the jersey style.
Okay. I'm glad you're saying like Steve Nash. So if they made that one with Devin Booker, that's a go.
Oh, I have my credit card. In fact, have all my savings. If they made one like this with Devin Booker, if they came out throwbacks like this, oh my, yeah, wrap it up. But welcome back, welcome. Well, listen, after a week of chaos and health issues and hospital visits, and we're back healthy. And I can't say the same for a lot of players in the NBA. One of those players being LeBron James, because he's gatekeeping. He's gatekeeping the All-Star game. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. Welcome back to Gumball Sports Machine, the show in which we love, we laugh, we hug, we cry, we smile, and most importantly, we are positive. Thank you all for watching again. And I got these three idiots with me. I got D'Lo in the bottom right, David Largo. Look at Kev. He's making an appearance after a little while.
Yeah, a little bit.
Huh? Yeah, it's been Kevin. When was the last time you were on the podcast?
It was,
and then we got Tom. Okay, but go ahead.
I think it was before the divisional round.
Dang, that's right, huh? It's been a little while.
Yeah, that was an in-person show. I think it was you, Kevin, Tone.
Oh, that's right. It was an in-person show. Wow, I forgot about that. And then of course, as always, we have Triple OG Tone in the building.
Oh,
what's happening?
Big dog. Listen,
fellas.
Boys, there was, huh?
Old school.
That's insane. What do you have to say about that, Tone? What's your rebuttal?
And we've been waiting on him to do his hair for about an hour.
And Kev, nothing to come back with it?
I'll be nice today.
Dang. He said you ain't got none on him, Tone. Said you couldn't come.
Well.
Huh? That's insane. Well, I think what we just learned is that Kevin came out of Tone. So, anyways, boys, there was an event that happened this weekend. And we're all wearing jerseys today. So,
Think bro was trying to say it was a snooze fest.
You know what? I think that was the case. I think, you know what? Let's we don't have to spend too much time on this because we got a lot of stuff to get into today. But Kevin, since you feel like you were sleeping, and I think a lot of people were doing the same during the All-Star events. What do you think of the new All-Star game format?
Like I said, I didn't watch it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did tell me that.
There's no reason I should be watching that. It's not the same.
But
Listen,
okay, I'll wait. D'Lo, what'd you think?
I had it on for one game. You can see the jersey that I'm rocking today.
This
I had it on for one game, and bro got eliminated, and I turned it off. Bro was an all-star for 5 minutes of game time, and then got knocked out and didn't play the rest of the weekend. Bro, I'm telling you, this tournament style thing that they got going on, it's not it. Just go back to East and West. Let players wear their team jerseys again, and just have a normal game. I don't know what the problem is. On the bright side, he won 3-point contest, so he came home with some hardware. Um, but other than that, it's just a snooze fest. I mean, the dunk contest was interesting this year. Mac McClung and Stephen Castle over there, but the All-Star game itself was just boring unless you were repping a player that was from your team. It's
What'd you think,
nothing
OG?
really to
Oh,
say
my
about
bad.
it. No, you good. That's it.
I'd have to agree. I don't like the format. I definitely think that the NBA will revisit and come up with a better system for next year. I think that's definitely disappointing for players who play better than all of the rising stars that didn't get an opportunity. I think it's whack for the players who are first time All Stars that didn't get an opportunity to score 20 to get themselves on the list. Like you're playing 5 minutes at an All Star game that's crazy to me. To me, I would be as disappointed as I would think Jason Tatum was at the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like I earned this. This is what I earned. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's dope that Tyler won for y'all. I think that just the whole weekend was disappointing overall, though.
a snooze fest.
I mean, it was a lot of comedy. It seemed like a parody versus like,
The Kevin Hart show is
the dog fest that I'm used to. Even back in the day, they used to say the same thing that we're saying now. Like they don't compete hard. We said this. I remember 2001, 2000. I remember the same conversation, but they still competed harder than they're playing now. It's just weird now. But when you give people so much money, it's like you making more money than your boss, and your boss telling you to play hard. You like, bro, chill out, relax.
All right. Now this is, I will say, I agree with all three of you. I agree with all three of you in terms of the new format sucks. It's awful. They maybe played a little bit more defense. They maybe played a little bit different. It was awful. It was absolutely terrible. Now, here's my solution. Take out the game and period. Take it out. You are never going to convince these NBA players to play hard for an All-Star game. It's never going to happen. I promise it's never going to happen. Take out the game as a whole. It's not working. It hasn't worked in about 10 years. Take it out. You see what the NFL did. They turned it into a flag football game, which is so awful, so bad. I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in years. Take out the game in general. Take it out. And when I was watching, because I'm a nerd, and so I watched the All-Star game through and through. The most fun I had watching the All-Star game was watching Ryan Dunn on the Rising Stars team play his ass off. He was hoping, and he wanted to play basketball. Now, these other guys that are making 55, 60, 65, 70 million dollars a year, they're not going to play hard. If they even play at all, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards. If you know you're not going to play, give somebody else a chance. Norman Powell deserves to be on that court. But like LeBron James always does, he likes the attention. So he waited to the last second to tell everybody he wasn't playing so that nobody else could get an opportunity to play in the game. Take out the game in general. Just take it out. It's awful. It's an awful production. It's an awful product. Take out the game. And maybe just have some stupid horse competition on Sunday. I don't know. But take it out in general.
My favorite part was the kid who hit the half court shot against Dame.
That's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's a pathetic event.
Kid who won 100,000. That was dope.
That was cool. That was really cool. But if that's the best part of NBA All-Star Weekend, the best part should be the All-Star Game. If some kid winning $100,000 is the best part of NBA All-Star Weekend, take out the game as a whole. It's terrible. The product is awful. And speaking of pathetic, did anybody see what Draymond Green said over the weekend?
Which part? He said a lie. He said a lie.
Look at the donkey speaking on television. Right, pathetic across his forehead. And that's Draymond Green. Draymond Green is a sad, just individual. Listening to him talk. Oh, why do the Rising Stars get to play on Sunday? Because they're going to play. They're going to play basketball. And like Big O said, nobody cares what Draymond Green says. He doesn't like it because he can't give the ball to Steph Curry 27 times a game.
But I like 50-50 agree with him, right? Like, I feel like them playing hard is like the reason they were there, but I don't think that the Rising Stars is the solution. I think they should have made it an all snub team and let the snubbed all stars go out, and I guarantee they would have played hard.
Which is fair.
Because they feel snubbed.
But D-Lo, can you ask me a question?
Yeah.
Whose fault is it that this tournament happened?
Adam Silver.
No. Why did Adam Silver have to make a decision like this?
Players weren't playing.
So you're telling me all this is happening because people who make 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars a year can't play hard for one night.
Well, we got to think. They don't want to get injured.
Then don't go.
Let me ask you.
The All-Star game is for them to go.
No. Then don't go. Because just because you don't play in the All-Star game doesn't mean that you don't still have to have that All-Star accolade next to your name. It doesn't change anything. If you're not going to play hard, don't go. Don't play. Now, I'll give LeBron credit for not playing. But what I will not give him credit for, and which I will bash him for, is saying it at the last second. He knew he wasn't going to play in this game on Thursday.
Yeah,
he knows that.
He did that on purpose.
Huh?
I think he did that on purpose.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. He knew he wasn't going to play the game on Thursday. He knew he was not going to play on Sunday. So say that on Thursday, on Friday, so that guys like Norman Powell can have an opportunity to play in his first All-Star game. So if you're not going to play hard, don't play. Give somebody else the opportunity to go play.
I wouldn't be surprised if although we're throwing Braun under the bus because it does sound foul, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody in the NBA doesn't call him and go, yeah, so what? We'll pay you extra this because you know how much money they're going to lose if LeBron just says 3 days prior, I'm not playing. There's mad people that's paying to go see LeBron.
But at some point in time, there has to be some sort of principle involved.
I agree. The principle is money. And everyone, we as fans don't identify that, but NBA's bottom line is the bottom line. They don't care about. That's why likely Luka Doncic got traded. Everything is about money. It's a business, and the players have to look out in their best interest. We as fans are just caught in between.
And here's the crazy part: the NBA is not what it is without the fans. Who do you think gives them their money?
It's a wild game.
He's pathetic. And to get back to Draymond Green, just listening to him talk, and the fact that I was watching the game with my pops on Sunday, and I was telling him, I was like, Draymond Green is a sad, disappointing, pathetic individual. And and my dad then said this: the fact that somebody's gonna give him $100 million to do more of what he was doing on Sunday is absolutely ridiculous.
But you got to think, those are all viral moments. Like, we're having a conversation about it right now.
We are.
And so it's a lot of what Chuck does on the TNT. You know what I'm saying? Those are viral moments. And what he said is controversial. It's real for a lot of fans. So a lot of fans would have rather seen Trae Young. A lot of fans would have rather seen, you know what I'm saying, like Kate Cunningham. Like, they would rather have seen their favorite player who's balling versus a rising star who just happens to get an opportunity because it's the rising star. You trying to tell me that D-Lo came up with a better decision than the people will get paid to make these decisions? It's kind of weird.
Which is fair. But again, he sounds miserable because who else's fault is it? The game, nothing would have had to change. Nothing would have had to change if they played 70%. 70.
But it's not on Draymond. It's like, and you got. I think I'm telling you, we've been having these conversations as long as I can remember watching the All-Star game. Michael Jordan was playing in the All-Star game, and they were still saying the same thing. They would say, "Oh, they're going to start playing right now around the 5-minute mark," and that's how it would go. The NBA players out there having fun, and then crunch time, they tighten up.
Then take the game out. Take the game out. It's an awful watch. It's miserable. Take it out. Put in some other event.
Let me ask you. It is thinking of potential solutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You move the All-Star game to summer after the season. You think that changes it? So that way they don't get hurt in the middle of the season. You vote All-Star at the end of the season. And then after finals, you give them like maybe a month after the finals, you hold All-Star
That would be
weekend.
genius. They moved back. What's the end game tournament? They moved that back almost towards like
All-Star break.
Yeah.
And then you have the championship, and then after that, All-Star. Woo! Elo, they about to call you, brother.
That's
hey,
a good one.
I don't have nobody else take my bro idea. We're just gonna sick them goons on y'all.
But it's like if they're worried about getting hurt, it'll be summer at that point. Like if you roll an ankle or strain a calf, you have the rest of the summer to heal before training camp starts.
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean?
I like that a lot.
That would maybe it incentivizes them to play harder. You can, if they still want to do this stupid tourney idea, I don't think so, but whatever. And then you replace that rising stars with that all snub team.
I like it.
I like that a lot.
I like it.
But
I
think
we need tickets, All-Star people. We need tickets to when this is situated.
Facts.
Facts. They have to think
even then,
something.
I think you put it right before the finals, just like they do in the Super Bowl. They do it a week before the finals because
so people who's in the finals can't play.
Yep.
Finals wouldn't play. Yeah,
oh,
that's okay.
Lord.
That's okay.
The conversation that is being had about this is about viewership. You're going to take the best players out of the game.
So what they do the same thing? They do the same thing in the NFL.
NFL is a little different.
NFL is just as bad, if not worse.
So let's say this, right?
I think NFL injuries are also worse.
The Suns versus the Celtics in the finals.
Uh-huh.
You got KD, you got Booker, you got JT, JB, and maybe one other player because the Celtics might be ranked a lot. You just want to snatch them out of the All-Star game on the past. Let's go back. Let's take the Warriors versus Cleveland. How the hell? Who is watching that? No LeBron, no KD, no Steph, no Clay. Who's watching this?
How many people watch it on Sunday?
I don't know. I didn't see the things yet. The rates.
I can't imagine it to be too much different. Honestly, I can't imagine it to be too much different.
In all honesty, they just need to do something.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Like I said, either now D'Lo's idea. I like that idea a lot.
It's like if they're gonna keep changing the format, they may as well just move it to a different time. Because the format changes is not working. You take that out entirely, and either you leave it out or you move it to a time where you know that players aren't going to be upset if they get injured while playing. They could still play 75% in that game, but it's better than the 25% they're doing now.
Can I ask a question? Did my guy not deserve MVP?
No,
Steph did.
Steph absolutely did.
So he went 6 for 7, and Steph went 4 for 8, and he had more points, and Steph had less points, but Steph deserved it.
It's an agenda thing.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
When the MVP came out, Steph was the first person that came to my mind.
That's sad. How the hell in any situation before, if a person has more points, they get an MVP. It's such an agenda with the league. It's nasty. Man, 6 for 7 versus 4 for 8 is. I'm like, yo, what? What? And more points is more rebounds. I'm like, this is crazy. He started off the game like he had the first 8 of the 11 points.
It reminds me of another MVP that you were telling me he should have got. That didn't get.
What, Finals MVP?
Feels like I feel like this is. I feel like
we all know that he played. To me, that went to JB because of his defense. Steph didn't play no defense in that.
I didn't say. Listen, I didn't say any names. I didn't say you.
I'm just being. I keep it real. Like I'm not mad at JB getting Finals MVP. He plays for the same team, bro.
You're mad at Steph.
They could give it to fucking Drew Holiday, Derek White, Porzingis. I don't care.
You're mad at Steph getting MVP.
My team won.
Your team won, and your team won too.
What?
Jason Tatum team won.
Yes, but we talking about the All-Star MVP.
Yeah, your team won.
We're not talking about the team.
Jason Tatum's team won.
Yeah. And he had more points, more assists, and rebounds than the person who won Finals or All-Star MVP.
Yeah, and he did the same thing in the finals, right? And
he did not play as good defense as Jaylen Brown did.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
But I'm not arguing the fact that he didn't win Finals MVP. I don't care. You understand? So like,
so why are you so upset
that Jaylen Brown won it? Jaylen Brown has been with the Celtics for 8-9 years, putting in work. I'm happy he won it. I'm not happy that Steph won it.
Why are you upset that Steph won MVP?
Because he did not deserve it. It was an agenda. It feeds the.
So did Jaylen Brown not deserve it?
Oh, y'all are gonna if the All-Star game was in Boston and Jason Tatum has a mediocre game, they're gonna give it to Tatum where Donovan Mitchell deserves it, and that's what they do, and that's whack.
A lot of contradiction going on here.
That's not contradictory. If Devin Booker came to Boston in an All-Star game and had 44 points, but Jason Tatum ended up with 34, and Devin Booker ended up going like 8 for 9, 8 for 10 from 3, and Tatum just and they're gonna give it to Tatum because he had a decent game in the Garden. They're gonna get. I'd be like, come on, that ain't right. Devin Booker had the game. He balled.
Does somebody want to remind me who won MVP last year? All-Star Game MVP? I don't remember. I don't remember. Because somebody, who won All-Star Game MVP last year?
I don't even remember.
Oh. Let me see. 2024 NBA All-Star Game MVP.
Who did win it?
So Damian Lillard won it last year. Okay. What about 2023?
If you're talking about Jason Tatum, I believe it was 22.
was
And
23.
He scored 55 points.
That was 23.
That's like 55 points.
Yeah. Was that game in Boston? Does anybody remember? Was that game in Boston?
I don't think so.
No, right? No. So, just like, again, I'm not understanding this lot. Like, just because it's in Oakland, Steph won it. That's not the case. The game wasn't in Milwaukee last year.
So why? How many times have you watched an All-Star game and seen a player who had less points win All-Star MVP?
How many times have you seen this format?
Never. So that would even add more to it because Steph didn't play better in the first game either.
Steph, did you not see what Steph was doing?
I watched him hit a half-court shot.
What about the second game? He took over.
Huh?
He took over.
Tatum scored oh my God, he took over. Tatum opened up the game. The reason why Steph was able to shoot half-court shots freely and be like, yo, we already got the game in the bag was because Tatum had already taken the lead by himself, damn near, single-handedly. It's all right. I just think it's whack. You can smell agenda with the NBA at times.
We good.
Like I said, I'm not understanding why there's a lot of upsetness coming from that screen in the top left, but I guess we'll maybe a lot of little envy of Steph Curry.
Envy?
Yeah. I guess
there's only one more thing that we should touch on All-Star Weekend. Can we touch on that Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama disqualification?
It should have counted. It should have counted.
Can we talk about them, being smart and getting disqualified for it?
Well, there's no reason it should not have counted.
Well, those aren't shots, and if you have to take, it says like in the rules that you have to take shots. Those aren't shots.
Those are technically shot attempts.
Those are not shots.
Every single one of Wemby and Wembanyama's the free throw ones hit the backboard and hit the rim.
I beg to differ, and so did the NBA officials, and that's why they were disqualified.
There's no reason it shouldn't have counted. And and listen, even before that, Wemby went around to the execs and said, if I do this, will it count? They said yes.
They must not have understood what he said. They didn't know the rules in depth. And then, as a fan, don't none of us want to see that?
I love seeing it.
Oh my God. You would have watched every player, all the rest of the teams do the same shit?
Because they were trying to win.
And every single team would have done the same thing, just throw the ball. That's not what you're supposed to. That's not what we want to see. We want to see them make a shot and go see who's quick enough to make the first shot.
I wanted to see the competitiveness. I wanted to see the want to win.
So I don't.
By them doing that, showed them that they wanted to win.
Did ever again in your life?
Huh?
I don't never want to hear you complain about what the Patriots did ever again in your life. I don't care what we talking about. I don't never want to hear you say that a team doing something dirty, like when Jason Kidd threw the coffee. I don't want to hear anything that they playing to win. I don't want to hear you ever say this is the type of stuff that you would call the police for. Remember that.
Yeah. Oh yes. The All-Star game and the AFC Championship game. They're equivalent.
Look at what they're doing. Yeah, you playing to win. I'm gonna call the police, tell them they're cheating.
That's equivalent.
If I'm playing,
Tom Brady got suspended 4 games for that.
Huh?
Tom Brady got suspended 4 games for Deflategate. Chris Paul and Wemby won't get suspended for anything.
No, because it's not that.
Because it's not what? No. Because it's not what? Because it's not what?
They wasted their time for that.
Because it's not what?
The NBA, that's a vacation. The NBA, they wasted their time.
So it's not on the same statute. So it's not on the same. So it's not equivalent to each other.
What?
So it's not equivalent to each other. The All-Star game and the AFC Championship game.
Nah, but you telling about a kid stealing candy ain't the same as you telling that the kid from robbing a bank, but you still gonna tell, regardless.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta stick.
Point.
You gotta stick to the script. You gotta stick to the script.
Exactly. So it's that. What they said, no sin shall be more valuable than another. Each sin is fucking worse, So.
Yeah, well, there's definitely levels of sin that Top over.
Well, who am I
So
to judge?
murder is much more than stealing a candy bar out of a gas station. So I do want to just point that
They
out.
were trying to steal the damn skills challenge victory by
It
not
was smart
participating.
though. It was smart.
It wasn't, because the rules say that you have to take 2 shots.
So
Those are shots.
if they did that in a regulated basketball game and they threw the ball like that, that's not a shot attempt.
Now, I don't know. They might rule it a turnover.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Look like a pass.
Yes, you do know.
Come on, those didn't look like pass. Be honest.
You've never seen anybody try to throw an alley-oop and the ball go in.
If those weren't taking the basketball off of a rack and someone was just catching the ball and tossing it, that looked like a shot to you. That didn't look like a pass or an alley-oop.
That looks like that's a shot.
So going to what Jamal just said, if someone throws an alley-oop and they make it instead of hitting the guy in the hands, is that not a shot attempt?
They didn't touch the rim. They didn't touch the backboard. They didn't even look like shot attempts.
Every single one of Wemby's hit the backboard at the very least.
No, they didn't.
I just told you that.
I didn't see none of that.
At the ones at the free throw line, at least. The one in the corner, I can't say anything. The ones at the free throw
Pull
line.
up the clips and pull up the clips. Just pull up the clips.
It doesn't matter if one person is disqualified; they both disqualified.
I'm just saying it's
smart.
The
team.
There's no reason it should not have counted.
If Chris Paul was just floating in the air, it didn't touch anything. So my bad if I didn't see Wemby's or here. I didn't see that.
So let me ask you: if they do it again, but they do that same thing, but all of them at least hit backboard or rim, does it count?
That's what those look like. That's a shot attempt.
So if they do the same thing,
it didn't hit anything.
Didn't I say Wemby's hit the backboard at least all 3 times?
But Chris Paul's didn't. And how you go? Yo, Chris Paul, you can't play, but Wemby can.
Listen, there's no reason. They were upset because they outsmarted them. That's it. They were upset because they were outsmarted
themselves.
They were upset. The NBA was upset because they outsmarted them. That's it. There's no reason it should not have counted.
I'm just asking because I thought it was smart.
I thought it was smart too. Until I've heard that they got disqualified, and I was like, "Well, damn, you trying to break the rules?" Just like when Jason Kidd got fined, it was smart. It was smart in game when he dropped the coffee, basically providing himself a timeout to drop it. It was genius until his ass got fined, and then
that's fine.
All right,
did they win that game? Did they win that game?
I don't think they won the game either.
All right,
but it was smart.
It was until it wasn't.
All right, let's move on to some other NBA stuff. Devin Booker took over as the Suns' all-time leading scorer. This was a little while ago, but we haven't talked about it because the Super Bowl and all that stuff. We've been talking about that, but Devin Booker took over as the all-time. He passed Walter Davis as the Suns' all-time leading scorer, which kind of puts the question out there: is he the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time?
Does
it?
I'm curious to see what you think. Tone, go ahead. You kind of had the first reaction.
So you mean like in their entire team, not just like the greatest player to ever play in the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, the greatest Sun of all time.
Gotcha. I can't go there, and I would say that I think he's a better basketball. I don't even know if he's a better basketball player now that I say it. Steve Nash, though, he has 2 MVPs, and then Charles Barkley. To me, they're obviously better players when I watch them.
Obviously,
yeah, Charles Barkley, without a doubt. There's no question. And Steve Nash is, when I think about it, I'm like, what he meant to the league at that time, what he was capable of doing. Yeah, he averaged a mean double-double, and I think he could have averaged 20 and 13, honestly. Especially in today's league. Devin Booker's nice, but I don't know. That's tough. I think that's a dope accomplishment. I ain't trying to take another. I think that's a dope accomplishment. Shout out to D-Book. And he still got a lot more to do. And if he does it in the Suns jersey, win the championship, then that conversation could be real.
What do you think, Kev?
I think it's like Tone said, it's a huge accomplishment. Because 10K, 20K, like 30K is a lot. We're still talking about D-Book, right? We're not talking about KD yet.
No, Devin
Like,
Booker.
oh, okay. 30K was the KD, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're just talking about D-Book as the greatest center of all time. That's the topic, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was a little distracted, my bad.
This man Kev is still playing 2K. He's like,
Bro, it's still basketball related, no? Greatest son. I'm gonna have to go with Tone on this one because besides taking the Suns to the finals that one run, he hasn't really done much anything else. You know, he pieced back up like Nash. And how many times did Nash take the Suns to the finals? Like what? Was it twice or once as
0.
well?
0.
Oh, 0?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe said,
I mean, it was also the Lakers and the Spurs that dynasty around that time too, so hard. But I don't know. I just think Nash was probably like he probably had like the greater tenure as a son than D Book has. But I mean, D Book is still with the Suns, and if he can accomplish more with Phoenix, I feel like he can be the greatest son of all time.
Go ahead, D'Lo.
yeah, I don't know, dude. Don't get me wrong. All-time leading scorer is a hell of an accomplishment. Um, but in terms of team success, there is none of any Suns legend. Barkley was the closest before Book went to the championship, and obviously he lost to Chicago. But in terms of individual accolades, I don't think he has it either. I mean, Barkley's got an MVP. Steve Nash has two MVPs in the 10 years. So it's just it's hard to definitively say that. I wouldn't be upset if you said it. But I think the lack of individual accomplishments kind of holds him back in that convo. Um, Again, all-time leading scorer, that's a hell of an accomplishment. It speaks to his longevity as a son, but um, it's tough. I wouldn't be upset if he did. I don't think so. I think I'd still probably put at least Barkley ahead of him. If you wanted to say he's better than Nash, I'm okay with it. But he also, and this is partially because he gets snubbed every year, doesn't have those all-star accolades either. So it's kind of hard because we understand his greatness as a individual player and what he means to Phoenix. But as the greatest son, I don't know. I don't think so.
So obviously the two other sons that would be really comparable would be Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, like you guys have talked about. Charles Barkley's tenure here wasn't long enough for me. He is a top 3 son of all time, but he played 4 years here. He played 4 years. And now, did he do a lot in that 4 years? He did. He won MVP, he took us to the finals. That's about it, though. His tenure was too short. Steve Nash right now, in my opinion, would be the greatest son of all time. The greatest. He played 10 years here. He had two MVPs. We made multiple conference finals appearances, and barring some other things, had a very, very good opportunity to go to the finals and win the finals. So what Steve Nash did here, I think, makes him the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time as of right now. But Devin Booker is second. He's the all-time leading scorer. No, he doesn't have any MVPs. He has a first-team All-Pro, or first-team All-Pro, first-team All-NBA. He has, he's got us to the finals and then performed extremely well in said finals. and he's done whatever he's been asked and never asked any questions, never complained. When we were winning 18 games a year, he was still doing his thing. He's the all-time leading scorer in single game and for the Phoenix Suns and in TD Garden. But
Say some shade right there. It's crazy.
no, he's the second greatest Phoenix
Wow.
Sun. He's
Crazy.
you know, yeah, he as much as I love Devin Booker, and now the other years I think he got snubbed. The years in which he was on the ballot, and not I guess ballot, and then was not picked, I think he got snubbed. This year, I don't think he got snubbed. He's not having a Devin Booker year. I don't think he deserves to be an all-star. I'm glad he wasn't. Because now maybe he put some fire in him. But yeah, Devin Booker, he is a fantastic Phoenix Sun. He has been and he always will be. Yeah, he's just I don't think he's gotten that title yet, but he's number 2 on that list for sure. I think he goes Nash, Booker, and then Barkley. So but did want to bring that up because, well, it's Devin Booker. The other Phoenix Sun, current Phoenix Sun, Kevin Durant surpassed 30,000 points last week against the Memphis Grizzlies, and he is only the 8th player to achieve said accomplishment. Is he now? He's top 10 in scoring all time. Is he top 10, top 15, top 20 player of all time? Where would you rank Kevin Durant after reaching 30,000 points? In terms of all-time players, obviously he's a top 75 player. But where would you rank him? Where would he be in your all-time rankings? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. And my personal all-time,
Mhm.
or like just trying to say like all-time players, like me.
Both.
And my personal all-time, he's likely in there. I think that if you just were to go over the history of the game, there's likely a couple old school dudes that if I were to have a conversation with some old school dudes that I might put over Kevin Durant. Just the history of the game. Like dude sleeping like Oscar Robinson, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, they might be in my top 10. And then there's a bunch of these young guys and LeBron. And so he might fall at that 11, 12, 13 spot. But in my personal top 10, yeah, players that I've seen in my lifespan, KD's definitely in the top 10.
What do you think, Kev?
You beat me to it, Tones. Even though you're a lot older than me, so you've seen a lot more
No.
players. I'm just being serious. I'm just being serious. Like he's seen a lot more players. 2001. He's seen players in the 80s and 90s, so it's not like I'm like.
Wait,
I'm
Kevin,
like,
can we see your mouth?
Yeah, I was say he don't know how to use his phone. You talking about I'm old.
I can't even see your mouth. I don't even know if you're talking.
But top 10, like our own list, like our own personal list. Then I'll probably have KD top 10 in my list from the players that I watched with my very own eyes from 2006, 2005 till now, like the last 20 years, and I have him in my top 10 of all time. But if we're going back to players that I've never watched, guys like Kareem, Larry, Magic, Shaq. Well, I watched a bit of Shaq. But like guys like the 90s, the 80s, even the 70s, like I didn't get to watch them with my own eyes. But I mean, just going off of what they've done in the game of basketball, you have to have them in the top 10. Guys like I just Barry, Hakeem, Kareem, all those guys. But my personal top 10, that I watched with my very own eyes, KD's up there in my top 10. But of all time, of all the players, I say it's like around top 15.
What do you think, D'Lo?
Yeah, I'm with the rest of the guys here. In terms of players that I've personally watched, he's in the top 5. Um, honestly, I think the only 3 that I would even have above him are Bron, Steph, and Kobe. I think he slides right there in number 4 in players that I've personally
Whoa, Tim
witnessed.
Duncan?
I think he's better than Timmy.
Yeah.
I think he is. Granted, I didn't see like the majority of prime Duncan because that was, from 2000 to, like '07, I would say, of like straight prime Duncan, right? I caught him at the tail end of the career. So, um, but no, I
Well,
think that in terms of a personal, he would be in my top five of players that I've ever seen. But in terms of like all time, in everything, I don't think he cracks the top 10. Um, I think his lack of being able to win outside of Golden State hinders him super heavily. Um, he we don't know if he could be a number one option outside of the super team. We haven't seen it. I mean, he went to one finals when they were super young in OKC, and then they never made it back. And the only other time that he's won is in Golden State. I think it hinders him. So, not to take anything away from him, he's probably the best scorer we've ever seen. Um, but in terms of all-time players, I think there's just a handful of guys that you could argue are above him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think when you look at Kevin Durant all time and you put everybody who's ever touched a basketball, I think he's no lower than the top 15. If you have him outside of top 15, you've never watched basketball. And that's just what it is. But in terms of players, like I've watched play basketball, I've always said on here, Kevin Durant is the most skilled basketball player to ever touch a basketball. But when I say the players that I've watched play basketball, he's number 2. It goes LeBron, and then it goes KD. What he does with the basketball is ridiculous. He is 7 feet tall. But yeah, he's listed as 6'9". I don't care. He is 7 feet tall, can handle the ball like a guard, can shoot the ball from anywhere on the court, can get to his spots however he pleases, and can put the basketball in at a ridiculously efficient level. He is ridiculous. Now he's not good enough to play to get into top 10 in terms of all time. You guys mentioned that of course you have your Jordans and your LeBrons and your Kareems and your Magics and Shaqs. Yeah, that's just not the case. But when you look at him, and he is just ridiculous. I mean, Steph doesn't have 2 rings without him. To be honest, Steph has 4 rings right now. Without Kevin Durant, he has 2. Because you're going up, and then LeBron has 6.
is Giannis above him?
No,
When Giannis retires, is he above him?
no,
Not yet.
not yet. He has more now. He has more MVPs. He's better defensively, but
Yeah,
I would say
definitely think
if he gets like 2 or 3 rings, I think you can put in that conversation with KD.
who Giannis.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just needs one more ring.
I think so too. I think he needs one.
Like one more ring, and he's gonna. He's not as great as a scorer, but again, I value the other side of the back. Like I feel like Wemby at the end of his career, he might be better than KD.
And we could throw Jokic in that conversation too. He get one more.
It now that's tough, man. See, that's tough. Now
I say at
I
least
think
3.
Giannis. I think Giannis would need. I think he'd need at least 7, 8 more years and a ring to pass KD on my all-time list. Because I mean, 30,000 points is a lot. We always talk about accolades. 30,000
He'll
points is a
be
lot.
he'll end at 4. He'll pass everybody to get to 4.
Oh yeah, KD will end at 4, absolutely. And it's tough. It's tough because Kevin Durant again is the best skilled basketball player I've ever watched, and number 2 in terms of just basketball that I've ever watched. But I don't know. That's where it gets tough, man. That's where it gets tough.
Crazy that Braun has only played 4 more seasons. has like 11 to 12,000 more points.
LeBron's also never tore his Achilles and missed 2 years.
That is also part of why it's amazing.
I mean, if KD never tore his Achilles,
But
he'd
that
be
like,
top 5 right now.
that's every player that we could say. T Mac.
Whoa.
I sometimes say T Mac would be the GOAT if he never got hurt. But I'm just saying, like, that's part of what makes LeBron this alien is the fact that he's been that healthy, because there's been a bunch of
Consistency.
players who have been capable of doing it if healthy, but LeBron's been the only one who's been able to be healthy and sustain a high level of basketball while doing it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wild.
I just some players are like, yeah, you know what? I love watching that guy. Other players like LeBron, they said, how much longer does he have? Really?
Yeah. I
How
didn't
long
like
is
Tim Duncan, but Tim Duncan was an animal. There's a lot of people I'm not a fan of, but I respect. People don't like Jokic. A lot of people don't like Jokic.
Who don't like Jokic?
There's a
people.
lot of
Is
people.
there really?
It's likely
There's a
Lakers fans,
lot of
like
people.
some Suns fans, people that he's beaten before. Like,
Oh well, we beat him. We beat him already, so we swept him actually.
yeah, but you haven't won anything.
All right, well, you're blocked.
Moving on.
I just wanted to put that out there. All right, let's give out some first half NBA awards. This will be the last segment of the show. We have not done this yet, and the second half of the season starts on Wednesday, Thursday, one of those days. But let's give out some NBA first half NBA awards. You know what? Let's start with Coach of the Year.
I was gonna say we definitely save MVP for last, right?
Oh yeah, MVP will definitely be last. Coach of the Year.
We'll let Kev go first because we know his answer.
Yeah. Coach of the Year. Coach of the first half of the year is
Kenny Atkinson. And the reason why I have Kenny up there is the first 15 games going undefeated. That's like one of the very few teams that was able to do that in the beginning of the season. The number 1 seed right now in the East, number 1 in and we're like they're still 7th or 8th in defensive rating too. So, and he's also been a huge part of Mobley's development this season, going from inconsistency and not knocking his jumpers down to shooting around 40%, 38 threes, averaging 18 points per game, almost 10 rebounds a game. So his jump with Kenny Atkinson taking over from JB, it's been a huge improvement from the previous seasons with JB. And again, like I said, the number 1 in the same conference as the defending champs. Yes, they're on the slump, but I just think Kenny has turned this team around in a very big way.
Elo.
Yeah, I think it's between two. I think it's between Kenny and Mark. Part of me wants to lean Kenny because I don't think anybody expected Cleveland to be the number 1 seed and playing as well as they are. I think we expected them to be a high seed, anywhere 4 and above, but not number 1 ahead of Boston. So, I mean, you got to take that into account. And then Mark, what he's done with Oklahoma City um, without Chet to begin this season, and they're still number 1. Jay's, number 1 right now in MVP in terms of NBA ranking.
Number 1
So,
defensive rating.
number 1 defensive rating without their shot blocker, with Jada playing the 5 while Hartenstein was out. And now that Hartenstein's back, he's obviously moved back. But, you got to give props to them. But I think that going into this year, if you didn't have Oklahoma City as the number 1 seed in the West, you'd get called crazy. So for that reason, I think I have to lean Kenny, simply for the fact that nobody expected the Cavs to be at the top, and they are. They're playing
I
well.
personally
So
had I personally had my team the third best in the East, the Knicks and the Celtics, but I really didn't think they would be the first seed right now as well.
What do you think, Tone? Who's the first half NBA Coach of the Year?
I'd likely have to go with Kenny as well, just because they're in first. But it's not just for the first half of the season. I think that like if it was, because I can't take away what Ime Udoka has done with the Houston Rockets. Although they're not leading their conference, they've turned it around, and they're performing well. And then the other team that I would honestly, which is probably gonna sound crazy from y'all, is honestly Mike Malone. He's got Denver back in the runnings,
He
and
cut
so
out.
if they continue to ball, that team, we all thought, everyone in the beginning of the season looked at them and said that, they're a little more depleted than they've been before. They don't have the depth that they do. And so he must be doing something. I know we all watching Jokic perform like an MVP, which you're about to, say those, but Mike Malone must be doing something.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Ime I think has a strong case for this award. He's done a phenomenal job with that Houston team. That Houston team, I think, I thought was going to be a playing team, 7-8, maybe 9-10. Like that's where I thought they were going to be again this year, and they're the third seed right now. I think Taylor Jenkins deserves a lot of credit and has a very, very strong case for this award. What he's been able to do, again, with Ja in and out of the lineup, with Zach Edey in and out of the lineup. But this award should and will, so far through half of the season, should go to Kenny Atkinson. What he's done with this Cavs team and how well that he has them playing, and all this in his first year with them. This is his first year, and he has the Cavs as the number one seed in the East, ahead of the defending champs, ahead of the Knicks. He has them playing at a ridiculously high level. And so what he's been able to do, I mean, with everybody, I mean, just alone, Evan Mobley has turned into a superstar. He's been fantastic. And so Kenny Atkinson absolutely deserves to be the first half NBA Coach of the Year award winner, and he's been fantastic. He's been great, and I do think he'll end up winning the whole thing. I think he'll win the full season, obviously, Coach of the Year. But so far through the first half of the season, absolutely the correct answer is Kenny Atkinson.
I just want to add on an honorable mention that I think should be looked at more was the old Cavs coach JB Bickerstaff on Detroit.
in Detroit, yeah.
They were the bottom of the East from multiple seasons before he came to Detroit. And I keep saying this to everyone too. JB is not a coach that you want to win a championship with. JB is a coach you bring in to go from a rebuilding team to relevant, like maybe like fifth or fourth best in the conference.
Next, let's go to now. This is an interesting one. Clutch Player of the Year. Who should be the first half NBA Clutch Player of the Year? It's interesting. Okay, it's interesting. There's a lot of guys you could choose from. Obviously, you have Damian Lillard, who's hit a few game winners this year. You have Kevin Durant, who's been ridiculously good in the clutch this year. You have DeMar DeRozan, who's always good in the clutch. You have SGA, who's also been really good in the clutch, but he hasn't had that many clutch moments because they're usually blowing teams out. So there's a lot of guys you could choose from. Last year's winner was Steph Curry. Obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup this year. But who?
Absolutely no one from Miami, because we like to blow fourth quarters.
Well, you said it, not me. We also just, I'm going to keep it there. So I don't want to get sad. All right, who wants to go first?
That's a good one. But I watch hometown. I have to go with JT. I don't watch him hit about 2 or 3 game winners this season. He hit the what 30 something footer one against the
Oh, the one he
Bulls.
traveled on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
That don't got nothing to do with making a shot.
I'm just saying. All right. Someone has Jason Tatum. Kev.
Well, if we're picking players from our team. I'm gonna go with Spider against the Celtics.
So, okay.
In the fourth quarter
Oh
when
my
when he
lord.
One game.
Oh my
I mean,
lord.
because I mean, okay, we're players this
That's the one
season.
game we've lost against the top 4 teams too.
There hasn't really been anyone that has stood out to me, in my opinion, like that is like from up here and then everyone else is down here. It's kind of been like a little stagnant. It's kind of been like you don't really have a winner like a coach of the year award already. Like it's I want to see more the second half of the season because I can't think of anyone right now.
D'Lo.
First player that came to my mind was Kyrie.
It's a good one. That's a really good one.
I think that, before the Luka trade, he was hurt. And when it came down to fourth quarter, you know who the ball was going to. It's been all Kyrie, and he's been fantastic. Probably should have been an all-star. Just not a replacement, just like all-star in general. But he got the replacement nod. He's been fantastic. He was the one guy that came to mind, like right off the top. Um, I think the other guy that I was leaning toward was Dame. I think it's probably one of the two. But in my opinion, so far, I think Kyrie has just performs better come late.
I'm going somebody who I don't think any of you guys expected I was going to say. I'm going Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has hit some big time shots this year. He hit one against us. He hit one against Houston. He hit one against Memphis. He's hit some big time shots this year in the clutch. And you want to talk about where the ball's going? If
Julius Randle.
yes, yeah, right. If there's a bucket that needs to be gotten, that ball is going to number 5 that was in Minnesota with Timberwolves on his chest. That he's hit some big time shots. My runner up though would be Kevin Durant. For what he's done in the clutch this year and the opportunities that he's had in the clutch this year, I think he's top 3 or top 4 in clutch points this year. But my winner would go to Anthony Edwards. My runner-up would go to KD. All right, let's go to sixth man of the year. Who is the first half NBA sixth man of the year?
I think we might should probably have all the same answer here. Especially, I know me and Tone probably have the same answer. I think it's Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning to as well.
I think it's Peyton Pritchard.
Kev?
I have Pritchard as well, only because he said big shots for them when it comes to at times closing the closing lineup with the Stars. I really think it could be Payton. Although I do like my boy Ty Jerome as well. He's been pretty clutch off the bench as well.
Who?
Ty Jerome. Oh, again, hey.
Um,
I also think Beal has been pretty solid off the bench for Phoenix as well. But all in all, I do think it's Pritchard's award to lose.
Right, he said who's been pretty clutch off the bench for Phoenix?
Beal.
Bradley. The guy you say you trade for a half bag of eaten potato chips?
At this point, I won't even take anything back. Just take them. I don't even want anything back. Just take them. Just take them.
No.
I just you don't have to give me anything. In fact, I'll give you more. But Tone,
Pritch, please.
huh?
Pritch, please.
I know how you like your PP. So
I think the one guy who's actually behind him though, because I know we all have Pritchard, but one guy that I think deserves recognition, um, Russell Westbrook, I feel like deserves a nod.
he
Uh,
started a lot this year, though. He started a lot.
he has, but he's still behind Jamal Murray. Um, Christian Braun is starting at the 2. So while he has started a lot this year, I think he deserves a nod. He's been really good out in Denver this year. Um, I think it's between him, but again, as Kevin said, it's Pritchard's to lose.
If De'Aaron Fox hadn't been traded, my pick would be Malik Monk.
Malik Monk.
If De'Aaron Fox hadn't been traded, my pick would be Malik Monk. But now that he's going to be in the starting lineup and running that starting point guard, I guess I'll have to go Peyton Pritchard. Okay. Let me be honest. He's been fantastic this year.
And
I'm like,
you
where
hate
are
saying
they
that. And you
positioned
hate
in the
saying
West?
that.
And what is he averaging? Come on, y'all being disrespectful right now.
Steph was a
I do
9
wanna-
seed last year. Or no,
I do wanna-
Nas Reed. I'm sorry. We're talking about 6 men of the year. Go ahead.
I do want to add on. If Chris Paul starts coming off the bench on the Spurs, he could be in conversation for 6 men of the year as well. If he does come off the bench,
It wouldn't be enough games.
I think he started too much.
Yeah, it wouldn't be enough games to come off.
We're like 50 games into the season.
Yeah,
So-
that's
Being disrespectful at this
a little late.
You don't think Russ is a good candidate?
I agreed with Russ. That was the
Okay.
only
but the things though, Russ has been starting like Jamal says a
This
lot of the
man
games this
mentioning
season, bro.
people
He started a
who
lot.
you don't even know.
I want to add
You
in
know what I'm saying?
before he got traded, DeAndre Hunter, he was averaging 19 off the bench for Atlanta. So I mean, it wasn't like he was starting because he was coming off the bench a lot for them.
He's about to start.
Yeah, Russ
Yeah.
has started 27 games this year.
That's
DeAndre Hunter is not coming off the bench in Cleveland.
Mm-mm.
But now that Murray's healthy, if he continues to come off the bench, I think he's got a good shot.
I think so too.
Like every single game coming off the bench. Because I wonder how many you have to play, like come off the bench. 40 something. Got to be over the half the season.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Peyton's been starting with Drew out, right? I don't watch enough Celtics games to know, but
what about DiVincenzo? Hasn't he been coming off the bench and like sparking up for them
He's been hurt.
for the Timberwolves?
And I think we
And
started Walsh just for that.
He
That's funny that you bring
sucked
it
to
up.
start the year, though. He was awful to start the year.
He was really bad. Also, yeah, Peyton Pritchard has started 0 games this year.
Yeah, we've started Walsh, I think, just because to avoid that.
Yeah.
All right. Most improved. Who is your first half?
Hey, we better all be in agreement here too, or I might have to throw hands. Anyone other than Norman Powell is a no-go. Is a no-go. I don't care what anybody says. Should have been an all-star from
You don't want
last
to throw in
year to
someone
this
like
year.
that.
I feel like I always knew Norman Powell was capable of this.
Yeah, Norman Powell has always kind of been a bucket.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw in Dyson Daniels?
He's been more consistent. Who?
Dyson Daniels.
I think that's a good one. I personally got Cade.
I know my pick, and it was it's my pick. I picked before the season.
Wild. I think it's Norman. I don't think it's close. Like,
Okay, so D'Lo's going with Norman Powell. Kev,
Between Dyson, only because what he did in New Orleans and what he's doing now in Atlanta, like it's a big jump.
It is.
Um, but I also want to add in, like we were talking about Coach of the Year earlier with Evan Mobley. I want to add Mobley as well for most improved as well.
I
That's
like
another
that.
good one.
That's a
That's
good
another
one.
good one. Tone?
So those are my two picks.
I would probably go Kate Cunningham. Um, and yeah, I would probably go Kate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another good one. That's another. He's been fantastic this year. I'm going J-Dub, Jalen Williams. That was my pick before the season. He's been playing fantastic this year. He's obviously the number 1 seed and the number 2 option on the best team in the NBA. He's a first-time All-Star. He's been fantastic this year, and that was my pick at the beginning of the season, and I'm sticking with it. So far, I believe he's been the most improved. He's been amazing. He's been amazing this year. So I'm going Jalen Williams, from the
On
Oklahoma
both
City Thunder,
ends. On
on
both
both ends of the
ends.
floor. Exactly, on both ends of the floor. Rookie of the year. Who is your first half NBA Rookie of the Year, Kevin?
God, this rookie class sucks. This rookie class is terrible.
I don't know how you guys would react to me naming this player, but I'm gonna go with Stephon Castle.
Mm.
I honestly think every game that you watch the Spurs, I feel like he just improves every game. Because when he first got drafted, he was known for his playmaking and his defense. And every game, it seems like he's always contributing to the team, regardless if it's playing defense. And he's also a very good finisher at the rim. His shooting isn't there yet, but I mean, it only takes time. I mean, look at Ben Thompson. His rookie season, he didn't really wow you in any way possible besides his vert and his athleticism. But I mean, look at him now. So I think Stephon Castle kind of reminds me of like someone like on the Man Thompson, and I feel like we should see a big jump from him like moving forward too.
Tone?
I don't know what I wanted to say. I think I'm just gonna go with this is in Jalen Wells.
Memphis?
Been playing really well. He's had to start and basically in place the jaw a couple times. I think he's more of a 2, but he's played the 1.
I thought that
Um,
was Scottie Pippen Jr.
well, I think Scotty's played some as well, but he's missed some games too. Wells has played really well for his rookie season, and he's like, to me, it's just his role as well. Like he's played like he's an experienced player. And I like Stephon Castle, but I don't think he's been as consistent as he could.
D'Lo?
Yeah, I think it's between the two that were mentioned, Stephon Castle and Jalen Wells. Um, this class is just
I'm
he's
surprised you didn't name
underwhelming.
Ware. I'm surprised you didn't name Ware.
He started too late. Um, he wasn't getting no run to start the season, so I feel like unless he continues to play for the rest of the season like he is now, I don't think he's in the race. Um, but uh, I think it's Stephen Castle, but I wanted to give shout out to Jalen Wells because he is playing very well for a rookie on one of the best teams in the West. Um, with Jaw in and out, he's stepped up and he's looked good. Um, the Grizzlies are top 4 in the West, so I think I think you got to give him a nod at least. But I think it's Stephon Castle right now.
Um, See, this is tough because I think there's a few good options. I think Stephon Castle, I think, is a front runner for that award. Um, I think number 2, somebody that you guys didn't even name, Zach Edey. I think Zach Edey is right behind Stephon Castle. I think he's been pretty good for them. He's averaging 9-8 or 10-8.
How many games has he played?
Yeah,
40.
I was gonna say I think
40.
he's been in and out quite a bit too,
Yeah, but he's played 40.
which is still good
Yeah.
if he
Right.
continues to play. But
Yeah.
they got that 65 rule now. Do you think he hits 65? Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's what 20 some odd game, 25 games left,
He'd
26
have
games
to
left.
play essentially all games for him
Yeah,
to qualify. I just don't know.
but this is the first half
Yep.
NBA awards. So Zach Edey, I think, has been good. Reece Shea has had moments. He hasn't been amazing. He's had moments. He's averaging double-digit points. He's averaging 11 points. But right now the pick would be Castle. Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
He's been the best rookie so far.
And coming into this year, I don't think anybody really knew how Edie would slide in next to Triple J. But I think it's looked pretty well. And, like if you
Mhm.
watch Grizzlies games, like spacing isn't an issue for them.
No,
And I
not
think that
nearly as
was
yeah.
that was the question coming in with Ja and then Edie and then Triple J. Where's the shooting come from? But it hasn't looked dysfunctional. So
Yeah. No,
props.
no, it hasn't. It's looked pretty good, and wins have been the result of that. They're the 3rd seed right now. All right, defensive player of the year. Tone, I think I know who you're gonna go with, so I'll start with you.
6 foot, 7 foot, 9 foot hut. Wembanyama, Wembanyama, Wembanyama. I don't know how you go with anybody else but homie.
D'Lo.
I think it's a two horse race. And I know the voters are thinking it's a one horse race with Wemby. You look at the stats; it's kind of hard to deny him a depoy. But again, and he came out on a podcast and said it. I want to throw J Dub's name in there. I know the stocks don't mimic that, but if you watch him play defense, he's elite. He was playing it at the 5. He was guarding big men at 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he's
You
6'6".
don't see it.
6'6".
He might be
He just has
shorter.
a
You're right.
wingspan.
But when you look at what he's done defensively while their big men were out, and what he continues to do, I know the stats don't reflect it, but if you take away, box watching and you actually watch Jada play defense, I think his name should be in that category. I say the same thing with Bam all the time. He may not have the stocks to prove it, but he can guard 1 through 5 on the floor. That makes him so valuable. I think J-Dub is in the same convo. So as much as it's going to go to Wemby because of the stats. I mean, he's averaging 4 blocks and almost 2 steals, which is insane. I want to throw J Dub's name in there because he's been phenomenal.
Kev.
I mean, you didn't throw in the Dorcher Chamber, actually. He's been pretty impressive as well on the defensive end. But I'll give it to Wemby. It's only because you basically cannot score against him in the paint. And I mean the stuff. And if you watch the gameplay itself, Wemby has been a force on the defensive end as well. So I'll give it to One Bananas.
I don't. All of you are unbelievable. We just talked about him. In fact, Kevin, you gave him the most improved player. I'm going Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels is the defensive player of the year. He can guard 1 through 5. Well, most 5s. Obviously, you have your Jokic's.
I say 1 through 4.
But Dyson Daniels is averaging 3 steals a game.
Mhm.
He has more steals right now in the first half of the season than
Mhm.
any of the defensive player of the year, any of the recent defensive player of the years had the entire season. He
I
is
think
a
most of them
dynasty
have been
defender,
centers, though.
huh?
Most of them have been centers, though.
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, but he
He's the
wasn't a thief.
outlier.
He wasn't a thief like he would sit down and play, but he wasn't a thief like Dyson Daniels is a thief.
That's what I'm saying. And the fact that none
Yeah,
of you guys,
Wemby's averaging steals and blocks.
he's averaging 1.1 steals. That's it. He's averaging 1 steal.
A 4-1.
So
would you put SGA in that conversation since he's averaging 2 steals in?
no,
No, I don't think
no,
SGA is the best defender on his team, so I wouldn't even nominate him.
no. He's not even this first or second.
I don't even
or third.
a third. Yeah, Dort.
Yeah.
You may put Caruso in there.
Oh yeah, actually, he might not even be top 5.
Pet, J-Dub, like they are
Yeah,
defense heavy.
they're
Yeah,
very, very, very good defensively. But my pick right now is Dyson Daniels. That's now I picked Wemby, and this might just be me being different. But I picked Wemby before the season. I think he still is going to win it.
Mhm.
Now, deservedly so. But Dyson Daniels right now, I love the way he plays defense. So that's what I'm going with. He is
agree.
ridiculous. He's
I
ridiculous.
can't be mad at that decision too. I mean, like that's the most improved. But I just still think the voters are going to go to Wemby way though.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
it's a voter thing.
This is the Gumball Sports Machine. So we are
Yeah.
the voters. So it's not based on any other.
Get a bag somewhere. Though.
Hey,
Huh?
I would still be
Daniels gonna
voting.
go get a bag somewhere.
It's okay.
I would still be voting J-Dub if that was the case, but
My pick right now is Dyson. Dyson is now Wemby would be second for sure, but all right, finally. Now this is where it gets interesting. Who is the first half NBA most valuable player? D'Lo, you seem the most excited. We'll start with you.
it's Jokic. I
I'm
understand.
shocked. I'm actually
I
shocked. Whoa.
I understand that Shea is number 1 in the West, number 1 in the NBA, with the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a 2-horse race. It's either him or Jokic. Now, do I think Shea will win it? Yeah. I think there's voter fatigue for Jokic at this point. But if you take Shea off the Thunder, that team is still a playoff team. If you take Jokic off the Nuggets, they might be a bottom team in the West. Like, without Jokic, I don't know where the Nuggets sit. He's averaging, I think he's still averaging a triple-double on the season.
He right now is
He's-
averaging 30, 29.8, 30, 12, and 10.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't think any of his other MVP years he was averaging a triple-double. And the only other people that we've seen average a triple-double for the season won MVP. So it's like I understand that Shea and the Thunder have been so good, especially without Chet. And I picked them to start this year. I picked them to win it all. I still think that they're going to win it all. But in terms of who is the most valuable to their team, I still think it's Jokic.
Kev?
It's basically what D'Lo said. To quote what D'Lo said about you take Joker off the Nuggets, they might be down there with hanging out with the Jazz, hanging out with which other teams are down
No,
there?
not that
The
low.
Blazers.
Not that low. No.
Not that low, but they'd be like 12.
They will not be a top 10 team, and that's what I'm trying to
Be
say.
a top 10 team.
You really think that they would be a top 10 team?
I think they'd.
No. Jokic is a system on that team.
Okay, maybe not a top 10 team, but yeah, they wouldn't be that low. They'd be like 11.
He's the system.
They'd be like 11, 12.
Yeah.
And not many players in today's league where you can call someone is the system. Not many players. Jokic is the system. and like of that team, they won't be relevant. They will not be relevant. And you take SGA off the Thunder, like D'Lo said, you have guys like J Dub that can at times score 25 points per game. And say the whole team is just defensive oriented, you can still win games off of a whole. You're seeing that right now with the Magic. They're third in defensive rating, and they're winning games.
So
And
Jokic, oh my bad.
and that's just who I think it is. Jokic is MVP, regardless of what the stats even say as well. Just watching the game itself, the ball is in his hands, and whenever Joker has impact with the basketball, they win games.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Nikola Jokic is the MVP. Nikola, he just is. He's averaging a triple double. He's averaging 30, 12, and 10. He is shooting a ridiculous percentage from the field. He's shooting 57% from the field.
which
And
is
he's shooting
ridiculous.
45% from three.
Ridiculous.
Let me just say that one more time. 45% from the 3-point line.
A center doing that.
And he has his team as the 4th seed. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. He is the most valuable player in the world and deserves to win this MVP so far through the first half of the year. Now, Tone, make your case for SGA.
I guess the biggest thing would be that he has his team in first place. And without their, I don't know, what do you call them, 2B, 3A, check. He doesn't score as much as J Dub, but he holds down their paint. He's got a presence. He stretches the floor, and they lost him pretty early when they were getting cohesive. And so to lose that big of a player and still be able to maintain, and again, they're in first place in the NBA. I think that's huge. And I'm not trying to take anything away from what Jokic is doing. I do think Jokic is an incredible player. I just would, I think that you credit a player, the best player, for getting his team to the number one spot. Because it's obvious that you can be the quote unquote best player on a team and things not be cohesive. Like SGA has that team figured out. They mesh. He's effective in the locker room and on the court, and he's actually had to come back in the game, being up 25 just to try to maintain because how well they're playing. He's their first and fourth quarter killer. Sometimes they're up 15, 20 in the first, and he doesn't have to score. But I think he would have had multiple games of 50 points by now if they weren't smacking teams, and he's the leader.
Okay, now that those are done, I do want to. This is now again. We don't have a lot of time, but I do want to ask you, Tone. So you think SGA is the MVP because he's the best player on the best team?
And he's got great numbers as well. He's balling.
Okay. Now, there's somebody I know that did that twice and won twice. Now I get a lot of crap for it. In fact, I'm wearing his jersey. I know you see the number 13.
You know what he didn't do well?
Whoa!
Play defense.
Whoa!
He didn't play defense.
Listen, I didn't say anybody's name. I'm just saying I know somebody who was the best player on the best team in the league for 2 years in a row and won the MVP for it. But a lot of people don't think he should have won.
The whole to me, you got to play both sides of the basketball. SGA might not be the best defender on his team, but he's damn sure playing great defense on whoever he's guarding. Steve Nash was a player that they were literally hiding on the court so that he wouldn't get picked on.
Does Jokic do that?
Same conversation.
Does Jokic do that? Is he a great defender?
He's not a great defender, but he's a good defender.
He's a very smart defender.
He's not a good defender.
What?
He's Kevin said it right. He may not be a good defender. He's a smart defender.
Steve
There you
Nash was
go.
a smart defender. Steve Nash was a smart defender. No, he was not a good defender, but he was a smart defender. Almost the same thing you're saying about Nikola Jokic.
Okay. That's fine.
So I'm just saying, so we can't give other people credit for something we're bashing somebody else for.
And
This is
that's
what I'm
the
saying,
problem.
contradictory.
Who's
This is the
bashing
problem with MVP.
Listen,
It shouldn't just go to the best player on the best team. It should be the most valuable player to their team.
No, I'm talking specifically to the person who just said
But I
he's giving him
just
the
gave
MVP
you
because he's the
valuable
best player
evidence
on the
for
best
my
team.
reasoning that you try to take out of your equation every single time.
Okay, hold on.
Steve Nash doesn't play both sides of the basketball. You just helped assisted me in that by saying Jokic doesn't. So then you're saying that they don't play defense. So why would I give them more credit than I'm going to give SGA?
But why? So why does SGA deserve to win it over Jokic?
I just told you, because he is playing well. He has his team in the number 1 spot.
Oh, I know another team. I know another guy that did that twice. And only
All
MVP.
right.
Yeah.
But Kobe should have won it. Kobe should have won it. Oh.
We keep
Kobe was averaging
we
36.
keep leaving that part of the equation now. You keep adding that, but he don't play no defense.
And like I just said, has Jokic ever been in the running for Defensive Player of the Year or All NBA defense?
Mm-mm.
Oh, but he can still win MVP.
Mhm.
What about James Harden in 2018? Was he ever in the running for Defensive Player of the Year?
So you want me to take the credit away from what I'm giving SGA because he plays defense, is what you're asking of me?
Can you give the credit to Steve Nash that you're taking away?
I'm not even mentioning Steve Nash. I don't care about Steve Nash.
I am.
I don't care. Like, you're the only person who cares about Steve Nash right now. He's not in the NBA. He does not play tomorrow.
I'm just saying. No, I will absolutely admit I did. But I'm just saying the contradiction is showing itself.
It's
it has
not
been all
a
day today.
contradiction. I just gave you valuable information. He does not play defense. You want me to you want to take credit away from Jokic then? I will take credit away from Jokic for not being as good of a defender than I feel as though SGA is. So now I'm not even gonna put Jokic ahead of SGA. When I thought there was a great conversation between the two.
See now the contradiction has been taken away. Thank you.
I'm not. I'm just using your information. That's what you want me to do. All I just did was give SGA credit. I didn't take any credit away from Jokic. You took the credit away.
He's got a good point.
Fell on your own banana.
Whoa, see there?
He's got a great point.
Hold on 1 second here. Kevin, where did you go?
I gotta get ready for work. I told you 12:30.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you for joining us.
But I do think Jokic is having a hell of a season, and from what I understand, he's having a better season than he did last year, right?
Dude, Jokic, yeah. I think this is the best year of his career.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing.
I think this is the best year of his career.
That's what I said. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from Jokic. It's honestly just giving credit. And maybe I'm falling in that voter fatigue. Cool. I also think SGA deserved it last year too. So
I think he deserved it last year too.
Being able to control such a young locker room, being a veteran in that, I feel like there's almost like off-court things that you kind of contribute to the success, and SGA's been able to maintain that. But Jokic is balling.
Yeah, no, I just need my son stuff in there, so it's gonna get there.
He's gotta throw it in there because nobody else is gonna talk about him. Like,
well, no, that's okay.
He had us compliment both of his favorite players today, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. We had to compliment him on the show. Like, goodness gracious! Now you want us to compliment Steve Nash? What is going on here?
Feels good.
That's what he does.
Damn right, that's what I do. Feels good too. I feel happiness from it.
All right, bro.
You give those guys the credit that they deserve.
Anyways,
thank you for watching.
Give credit to that guy.
Oh, really? Oh, how about we give no credit to him?
Damn. I give credit
Hey,
to Leandro Barbosa for impregnating. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Impregnating who?
Steve Nash's baby mama.
Yep. You know what Leandro Barbosa is doing? Good, because I don't either. Anyways, thank you for watching the show. I again, I kind of. All right. Well, I'm just gonna do that there. Just gonna do that. We're gonna.
hey,
No,
you see how much of a hater this guy is?
what? It's a glitch in the system. It's a glitch in the system. That's my bad. That's not bad.
But when he was doing that with his, oh look what jersey I got on, that number 13. Look what
Nasty.
that's nasty work. It's nasty work.
How many MVPs does Tyler Hero have?
0.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got a 3-point
And
contest.
he will end his career with 0.
Devin Booker has one
Tyler
too.
Hero will never be an MVP, but that don't mean I'm not gonna rep it.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't. Because
Devin Booker will never be an MVP, but
You
that
come to
don't
the
mean you're
green
not gonna
side
rep
and
it.
get him a ring,
he will,
and
but
he'll have
Devin
more
Booker,
than Nash.
Devin Booker.
Did you just say he will?
Who?
You.
No, I didn't say that. But Tyler Hero will also never carry his team to an NBA Finals.
You damn right.
Devin Booker has. You damn
One
right.
time.
Huh?
And he'll never go back.
Damn.
All right. Well, this is the last year. This is the last you guys will ever see of D.
Yeah, this is the last you'll see a co-host D'Lo. I speak my mind, but when Gumball,
You shut up. You shut up is what you need to do.
yeah, yeah,
Devin Booker's got mind control over this man.
yeah.
And
Hey,
people say that I'm not the number one Suns fan in the world. I am the number one.
you talk bad about the Suns, you off the pod. That's what it is.
The
Well,
man,
now that we all understand the rules.
the man said that D Book didn't belong on the All-Star team.
Oh yeah, I don't think he does.
He doesn't.
All right. Well, I'm allowed to say that. You're not. So
I just want y'all to know again, the second time Jason Tatum outplayed all these USA kids again. Second time. First time, you know what I'm saying? Then I
hold on. You know who got more playing time than Jason Tatum? Bam Adebayo and Devin Booker. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, listen, you want to know the only sports team that Jamal reps that you're allowed to talk bad about is the Arizona Cardinals.
No, you're not allowed to talk about.
that's because he's not
Because they
really a
suck.
fan of them.
Because they're terrible.
Okay, they're not terrible.
They're terrible.
They're not terrible. Yeah,
They're terrible.
You know who's terrible? You making all that.
You know who's terrible?
The Patriots are terrible.
Patriots are terrible too.
We're playing as good as we
All our
are.
teams are terrible.
Y'all are better. Like your team on paper is better than what your record reads. My
You damn
team is
Skippy.
actually playing pretty good. Our team on paper is ass juice, but we played better in spurts. Next year, once we get a couple players, the year after that, I got us back in the playoffs. And we get another coach. I told you in the beginning of the season, Gerard Mayo wasn't going to last. I told you.
Is Josh Allen retiring?
Huh?
Nah.
Josh Allen?
Nah.
Tua's going? Tyreek Hill?
Man, Tua might. Hey, Tua might. Tyreek Hill getting out the Dolphins too. He not gonna be there.
Yeah. Playoffs, my ass.
We'll be better than y'all, will. We'll be better than y'all.
Actually, the Cardinals are better than the Patriots and the Niners this season. Both of them.
And what'd that get you?
Yeah.
And what'd that get you?
And we're
better than both of them. So
all at home. And we're all at home.
I have the best quarterback of any of your teams.
And what'd that get you?
Someone call that cat.
Who
would that get you?
My quarterback's been to a Super Bowl. What's yours done?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. We're talking about my quarterback or my quarterback?
You know, your quarterback.
Okay, my
the one that you got on the one that you got on your beanie right now. What's he doing?
One. No, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
So who was you talking? You was claiming somebody else?
My quarterback.
That's not your quarterback.
My quarterback has 3.
Your quarterback.
My quarterback has 3.
That's not your quarterback.
You're right.
He's claiming Patty.
That's my player. That's my favorite player.
That's crazy.
He has 3.
You know how many my quarterback has?
What, 7?
Catch up.
That's okay.
Mustard.
Wait, what does your quarterback? Hey, on the field, On the field, what does your quarterback do better than my guy?
In championships.
Okay. Hey,
That's
hey,
it.
listen.
That's it,
In
though.
the first
That's it.
7 years,
That's it. That's the only
oh
thing.
no, you know what? He cheats. He does cheat. Mahomes doesn't cheat. Brady does cheat. Brady does
That's
cheat.
not what you told me. Remember that story about the club?
See, there you go. See, there you
See
go.
that?
In the business out here. So now, see, there you go.
Yeah, I ain't getting into too many details.
Now I'm
I'm
gonna
not
have to
gonna
edit
get
that
into
out.
too many details.
Now I'm gonna have to edit that out because you're gonna get me in trouble.
All
So now I'm gonna have to edit that out because you're gonna get me in trouble. On that note, we're gonna close out the show. Don't forget not these two idiots, but you watching are amazing. You are beautiful and you matter. And I love you and I'm proud of you. And if nobody else is gonna tell you, I'll tell you and I'll tell you again. I love you and I'm proud of you. And always forget, it's nice to be important, but it's much, much more important to be nice. We'll see you later this week. And just like that, it's just me.